Far beyond the known territories of the galaxy, in the shining expanse of stars, the planet Zithera floated like a jewel. Its surface was covered with tall crystal towers that reflected the light of 3 suns. The Zitherans, a species of sleek, intelligent beings, lived there. They were proud of their technology, their knowledge, and their fleets of starships that could travel faster than light. For centuries, they had believed that they were alone at the top of the galaxy, but there were always stories, old legends about a species called humans. Humans were said to be extinct. Zitherans believed they were myths, tales created by storytellers long ago. The stories described humans as fragile, small, and slow, yet they had something that aliens could not understand: courage, cleverness, and a stubborn will to survive. Zitherans had laughed at these tales. They called them fairy stories, not facts. But some Zitherans wondered, what if humans were real? Commander Thalion, a young but skilled officer in the Zitheran fleet, was sent to explore the outer rim of their territory. His mission was simple: scan new star systems, check for resources, and report any unusual activity. The Zitheran Council had grown uneasy after strange signals were detected near the edge of known space. Thalion's ship, the Ether Lance, moved silently through the void, its sensors scanning everything. "This area is quiet," Thalion said, his voice calm but alert. "Only empty space." His first officer, Sivara, shook her head. "Commander, the readings are odd. Energy spikes appear and disappear in patterns that don't match natural phenomena." Thalion frowned. "Could be comets, storms, or remnants of old ships?" "No, sir," Sivara replied. "It's too organized for that. Someone or something is moving deliberately." Thalion felt a chill. Zitherans had faced many threats, but this felt different. The signals were fast, precise, and strange. They did not match the known signatures of any alien technology the Zitherans had catalogued. Meanwhile, in a distant system called Erebos Prime, humans were preparing. After centuries of rebuilding after wars and near extinction, humanity had grown strong again. On the surface of the planet, huge shipyards hummed with activity. Ships of all sizes were being fitted with quantum engines, AI navigation systems, and modular defenses. Humans had learned to combine ingenuity with courage. Every ship was designed to adapt, repair itself, and fight smart. Admiral Renan, the leader of the human fleet, stood on the bridge of the flagship Valiant Dawn. His eyes scanned the holographic maps that displayed Zitheran space. "Our time has come," he said softly. "The galaxy thinks we are a myth. They will see the truth soon. Humans endure. Humans survive. Humans will be remembered." Back on the Ether Lance, Thalion and his crew approached a region where the signals were strongest. Stars passed like streaks of light. Suddenly, the sensors went wild. "Commander, multiple objects detected moving at impossible speeds," Sivara shouted. Thalion's eyes widened. "Impossible. That's beyond our technology. Are you sure?" "I am certain, sir," Sivara replied, her voice trembling. "They're heading straight for us." On the bridge, a screen flickered. Tiny dots appeared, forming a massive fleet. They moved with precision, faster than any Zitheran ship could travel. Thalion felt his chest tighten. He had seen many fleets, but never like this. The shapes were familiar to his memory. Humanoid silhouettes appeared on data projections, but he dismissed them as errors. It can't be humans. Humans don't exist. But the signals were real. The fleet was real. The humans were real. And they were coming. The Zitherans scrambled to prepare defenses. Every fleet captain received emergency orders. Weapons charged, shields activated, and patrols doubled. Thalion's mind raced. How could a species long thought extinct and primitive possess such advanced ships and tactics? How could they move so fast, so organized? He had no answers. Only one thought echoed in his mind. Humans are real. On Erebos Prime, Admiral Renan watched the Zitheran defenses light up on his screens. "Let them see us," he said calmly. "We are not here to destroy. We are here to show that humanity still lives. We are here to remind the galaxy that courage, intelligence, and willpower are just as powerful as technology." Humans had trained for this moment. They had studied every known alien species, predicting reactions, preparing strategies, and building ships that could survive against the best Zitheran technology. But above all, they had something the Zitherans lacked: adaptability. Humans could think, improvise, and act where machines and rigid rules could not. As the first human ship entered Zitheran space, Alarms blared across the ether lance. Thalion's crew stared in shock. The ship was not large, not terrifying in size, but there was an aura of authority and strength. It moved with purpose and yet with elegance, slicing through space like a predator. Sivara whispered, "Commander." "They're human." Thalion could not deny it. His fingers shook as he reached for the communication console. "Open a channel. Identify yourself." There was silence. Then a voice came through, strong, calm, and confident. "I am Admiral Renan of the human fleet. We are not myths. We are humans. We have returned." The words echoed across the void. Zitharan officers froze. The legends were true. Humans had survived. Humans had grown stronger than any of them imagined. Thalion sank into his chair. The weight of history pressed down on him. Everything he had believed about the galaxy, about his superiority, about myths and reality, had changed in a single moment. Outside, the stars shone like diamonds. And among them, humans, once thought extinct, now moved with purpose, determination, and the quiet confidence of a species that refused to be forgotten. For the Zitharans, it was the first moment of true fear. For humans, it was the moment of triumph. The galaxy had been waiting for this meeting, though no one had known it yet. And so the legend of humanity, long dismissed as myth, began its return. The human armada glided through Zitharan space like a living shadow, silent but commanding. From the bridge of the ether lance, Commander Thalion watched through the main viewport, unable to tear his eyes away from the sleek lines of the human ships. They were unlike anything the Zitharans had seen. Each vessel seemed alive with intelligence, moving with precision yet independently. Thalion turned to his officers. "Report," he demanded, though his voice betrayed uncertainty. Lieutenant Sivara's fingers flew over the console. "Sir, their formations are not random. They are adaptive. Every time we attempt to intercept, they adjust instantly. Our calculations cannot predict their next moves." A murmur ran through the bridge. Zitharan officers were used to control, predictability, and order. This was different. This was chaotic order, strategic improvisation. Thalion felt a twinge of respect, mixed with fear. This is impossible. Humans were supposed to be extinct." "They are not extinct, sir," Sivara said, her voice low. "And I believe they are superior in tactics to anything we have." Meanwhile, in the human flagship Valiant Dawn, Admiral Renan observed the Zitharan fleet. His eyes scanned the holographic displays, noting their strengths and weaknesses. "Keep formation steady," he instructed his crew. "Do not attack unless necessary. Show them who we are, not through destruction but through strategy and courage." Renan knew that this first encounter mattered more than any battle. Humanity had been dismissed, laughed at, and called a myth for centuries. Now the galaxy would see that humans were neither weak nor extinct. They were adaptable, resourceful, and united. The first demonstration came when a Zitharan frigate attempted to flank the human line. Sensors detected a rapid shift in human ship positions. Smaller human vessels moved like dancers, forming barriers, while larger ships adjusted shields to absorb energy blasts. The Zitharan frigate fired, expecting easy destruction. Instead, the blast bounced harmlessly off a dynamic energy shield, which then reconfigured itself within seconds. "Impossible," a Zitharan officer shouted. "They're shields. They change shape, strength, and angle instantly." Thalion gritted his teeth. He had trained his whole life to fight the galaxy's most dangerous adversaries, yet these humans seemed to anticipate his every move. It was not technology alone. It was intelligence, creativity, and instinct combined. Renan watched the unfolding skirmish calmly. "Remember," he said to his crew, "humans survive because we think, adapt, and act. The galaxy may underestimate us, but never again." As the engagement continued, Zitharan scouts attempted to analyze human ships. They recorded unusual patterns. The humans' weapons fired in sequences that seemed random, but were perfectly timed to exploit weaknesses. Their ships could detach sections mid-battle, repairing themselves while still remaining combat-capable. Every human ship was an experiment in resilience, an example of innovation in action. Commander Thalion felt a mix of admiration and alarm. "Report, how many ships are operational?" Lieutenant Sivara's voice trembled. "All of them, sir. They appear untouched, though our attacks were direct. They adapt faster than we can calculate." In the human armada, Renan activated a long-range communication array. A calm voice transmitted across Zitharan space. Zitherans, we are not myths. We are humans. We endure, we adapt, and we survive. Look at us not as enemies, but as a species that refuses to be forgotten. The message echoed in Zitharan minds. Citizens and fleet officers alike paused, shocked by the confidence of a species they thought extinct. Humans were not begging, threatening, or hiding. They were declaring their existence proudly. On the bridge of the Ether Lance, Thalion felt the weight of history pressing on him. He realized that humans were not just physically capable, they were morally and mentally strong. Their courage inspired, even intimidated. Every move of the human fleet seemed calculated to teach a lesson. Strength is not only in numbers or technology, but in unity, intelligence, and the will to survive. Thalion made a decision. We need to understand them before it's too late, he said. Prepare a reconnaissance team. We cannot underestimate humans. Not now, Sivara nodded. Yes, sir. But they are unlike any species we have encountered. We must proceed carefully. Humans were aware of the Zitharan reconnaissance attempts. Smaller scout ships darted into the outer areas, disappearing in bursts of light before detection. They observed, recorded, and adapted, never revealing their full capability. Humans had learned from history. The galaxy often attacked what it feared, but a clever mind could turn fear into respect without violence. As night fell on Zithara, the planet itself seemed to sense the change. The sky shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars, and among them, human ships glinted like silver sentinels. Children on the planet's surface looked up, unaware of the true significance, while leaders whispered of legends that had suddenly become reality. Back in the human fleet, Renan addressed his officers. We are here to be seen, not to dominate. Let them witness our strength and our wisdom. Let them know what humanity is capable of. Let them respect us, not fear us. The Zitharans, meanwhile, convened an emergency council. Commander Thalion and other officers argued fiercely. We must attack, one shouted. We cannot allow them to spread influence. Thalion shook his head. No, not yet. Observe first, learn. If we act too soon, we may regret it. They are not what we expected. They are extraordinary. By the end of the day, the first engagements had ended without destruction. Humans had shown power, but not cruelty. They had revealed their skills, but not their full strength. Zitharans were left in awe, their long-held myths shattered. As human ships regrouped in formation, the Zitharans realized something important. Humans were not merely survivors of an ancient era. They were innovators, thinkers and warriors in their own right. Their courage inspired fear and admiration in equal measure. For Commander Thalion, it was the first time he truly understood the phrase humans endure. Every tactical maneuver, every adaptive response, every calm, confident broadcast proved that the myths had been wrong. Humans were not weak, fragile, or extinct. They were alive, thriving, and ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, the Zitharans began to ask a question they had never considered seriously before. Could humans be more than just legends? Could they become the rulers of their own destiny once more? The answer would come soon. But for now, the galaxy watched in stunned silence as humanity revealed itself in all its ingenuity, courage, and brilliance. Word count. 120. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath. From Zitharan space stations to the edges of unexplored star systems, every eye was on the human armada. Ships of all sizes moved in perfect harmony, their silver hulls glinting in the light of distant stars. Humans, once considered myths, now appeared as a living demonstration of ingenuity, courage, and unity. Commander Thalion watched from the Ether Lance, his fingers gripping the armrests of his chair. He had witnessed the humans' capabilities, but even he could not anticipate the full scale of their fleet. Hundreds of vessels, from nimble scouts to massive battleships, stretched across the void, moving with a precision that seemed almost impossible. They are more organized than any fleet I've ever commanded, Thalion said quietly. And yet, it feels natural, fluid. Lieutenant Sivara nodded, her eyes wide. It's like they are alive, sir. Every ship moves independently, yet as one. Every attack, every maneuver is coordinated without a single error. Meanwhile, aboard the human flagship Valiant Dawn, Admiral Renan addressed his fleet. Today the galaxy sees who we are. We are humans. We endure, we adapt, and we survive. Our strength lies not in weapons alone, but in our courage, our unity, and our wisdom. Show them humanity's power, not to destroy, but to inspire respect. The first contact was carefully orchestrated. Humans approached Zitharan command stations in formation, their movements deliberate, non-threatening, yet undeniably powerful. They wanted the Zitharans to understand that humans could match and surpass them, not through aggression alone, but through superior strategy and resilience. From the ether lance, Thalion observed the human approach. His fleet had been instructed to prepare for possible conflict, yet he hesitated. The humans were not attacking. Instead, they performed a display, a calculated movement of ships that showcased their speed, precision, and coordination. It was a silent message. We are here, we exist, and we are strong. Zitharan leaders gathered in emergency meetings, struggling to comprehend the scale of what was happening. The myths had been shattered. Humans were not extinct, nor were they weak. They had returned, prepared, and united. For the first time, the Zitharans realized that underestimating a species could be their greatest mistake. In one daring demonstration, small human vessels performed intricate maneuvers around Zitharan drones, disabling them without firing destructive weapons. Larger human ships adjusted their shields in real time, absorbing energy from simulated attacks and redistributing it to weaker ships. Zitharan officers were stunned. No technology they had known could operate so flexibly. Commander Thalion, an officer whispered, "How can they think so fast? How can they react so perfectly?" Thalion shook his head. "It is not just speed or technology. It is intelligence, instinct, and experience combined. They have something we lack, a will to adapt in any situation without hesitation." Meanwhile, Renan prepared for the final part of the demonstration. He wanted the Zitharans to understand humanity's full capability. With a signal, a formation shift began. Human ships created a massive pattern visible even from Zithara's surface, a formation that resembled a phoenix rising. It was a symbol, a message. Humans were reborn, powerful, and ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy. The Zitharans gasped. Citizens watching from orbiting stations and planets below could not believe their eyes. The human fleet had created a spectacle of precision and strength, without firing a single weapon. It was proof that humanity's greatest power was not destruction. It was ingenuity, unity, and courage. Commander Thalion made a decision. He activated the communication channel. "Humans, this is Commander Thalion of the Zitharan fleet. Your display is extraordinary. We underestimated you. We thought humans were myths. Now we see the truth." Admiral Renan's voice came through, calm but firm. "Commander Thalion, we are not here to conquer, nor to destroy. We are here to be seen, to show the galaxy that humans endure. Respect is earned through understanding, not fear. Learn from us as we learn from you." Thalion felt a shift inside him. The arrogance of centuries melted away. Humans had proven themselves not by attacking, but by showing their skill, intelligence, and courage. The Zitharans were forced to reconsider everything they had believed about themselves and the galaxy. As the hours passed, more interactions followed. Human scouts repaired damaged Zitharan drones to demonstrate cooperation. Training simulations were shared across communication arrays. Every action emphasized a single truth. Humans were capable, clever, and honorable. Even Zitharan citizens began to see the change. Children pointed to the stars, asking their parents, "Are humans real?" And the parents, once dismissive, nodded with newfound respect. Across Zitharan space, the name human began to carry weight, respect, and awe. By the end of the day, the human armada began its departure. They left no destruction, no casualties, only a trail of dazzling energy that marked their path through the stars. Commander Thalion watched them go, a mix of relief, admiration, and humility in his heart. "They are legends," Sivara whispered. "Not myths. Legends of the galaxy." Thalion nodded. "Yes, and we have witnessed the rebirth of a species that refused to be forgotten. We have seen humanity in its true form." In the aftermath, Zitharan fleets began planning differently. They could no longer assume superiority. Humans were no longer stories told in whispers. They were a presence to be respected. The galaxy had changed forever, and the Zitharans had been among the first to witness it. On Aravos Prime, Admiral Renan looked out at the stars. His fleet had accomplished its mission. They had returned as humans, alive, united, and respected. The galaxy had seen them, And for the first time in centuries, humans were no longer a myth. They were a legend, and as the human armada disappeared into the distance, Zitharan historians would later write that day as the moment humanity returned, not with war, but with courage, intelligence, and the enduring will to survive. A new chapter in galactic history had begun, and the humans had shown that true strength comes from unity, adaptability, and the courage to face the unknown. The galaxy had doubted them. It had mocked them. But now humans were undeniable. Humans were powerful, and humans had returned to claim their place among the stars.